Oh, are you ready? Oh, look how big that one is up there.
There's a light on in there.
I thought you were gonna say that she's buried in the property.
Oh. You know, it's tradition. Keep up the good work. Thank you. God bless. God bless.
Do you see? Don't walk into that spider web.
I know. That's why I said, oh my. Look at him. Look how big he is. Is he looking at us?
I have no idea.
He turned. Don't think anybody.
Get off of my front porch! Oh my gosh. What are you doing? Why are you doing that? Oh, this thing. What do?
Don't spit on me. See if he thinks it's food.
Food? Your hand?
No, I'm just tapping it just to see if he moves, like, to see.
Well, go tap him. See what he does. What's going on?
It's starting to rain.
I want to look at the property. Well, the rest of the property. I see the front. I can't even see the size of the house. I can't see the backyard.
I put in that name and her obituary actually came up.
Really?
Yeah. She was 71 when she died. She died in October 24th of 2020. Oh, she died before her parents.
Really?
And her husband and sister-in-law.
Her parents are still alive? So this has probably been vacant for, you said October, so we're 2020. That's almost 3 years.
Yeah. I think she's buried up here in the cemetery right here.
I thought you were gonna say that she's buried in the property.
Oh. There's the chapel, there's the cemetery, send flowers, funeral homes, memorial tree.
There is a church right across the street.
Literally across the street, and I wonder if the people there, oh no, there's a house back here. Literally across the street, and I wonder if the people there, oh no, there's a house back here.
Oh, there's a car back there.
Yeah, we can go talk to them. It's a house, it's a big one.
A biggin?
A big one. There's a light on in there. Could be somebody in there.
Hello.
Hi. We go out once a week and do free lawn mowing.
Oh, how nice.
And we find overgrown properties like that, and we mow it.
That's nice.
And we didn't know if anybody would have a problem with it.
And it's right directly across from the church. We were just wanting to see, you know, if it was okay if we just mowed right in and around the area.
Yeah, I think that's what, occasionally I think there was an elderly that lived there, and when somebody was over here mowing or something, there was a couple in the church that knew who they were and would go over and mow for them and stuff like that, just to keep it from getting too far gone.
Yeah.
But that's probably a good idea. I really, I haven't kept up with those
Yeah, I seen
properties.
They died in 2020. The lady did. I don't know. The guy must have moved away or something.
I don't know. See, I don't keep up with the houses around it, you know.
Keep up the good work. Thank you. God bless. God bless.
Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. We tried to speak with some of the neighbors. Their gates were closed, so we weren't going to bother them. We tried to reach out by phone, but we didn't have any luck with that. We're just going to go ahead and get started. Hopefully the people who own the property happen to come by, and maybe we can have a chat with them. If not, they're going to get a free lawn mowing. We're probably going to have to get the spiders down first. If you're going to be on the zero turn, you don't want to be riding and run into one of them.
Yeah, one hits you in the face and... Now we can enter.
What?
There's a light on in there. I wonder if we go to the back door, if somebody would answer.
There's cobwebs all over the back door. Oh, look how big that one is up there.
Ooh, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it in here. Did it just wave at me?
Yeah, I think it's just a kitchen light that's on. So there's power.
Yeah.
You know that. I gotta get off this deck. It's slippery.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
I'm about to be at home alone. Whoop. this was really a little bit difficult trying to get these vines off of this fence. And what I noticed is that these vines are growing across the ground.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What do you feel that you have left to do?
Well, after I get all this grass picked up, I mean, this whole side needs to be mowed. But I got to come back in here and mow this down where you picked up hay from in here. And then over here.
You see this? I don't think it'll be too bad over here. It's just right here up around the house where it seems like it's a lot more overgrown. Went back in over here.
Does seem like there's a lot of weed eating.
Yeah, I went through and I got as many of those spiders as I can. Those spiders, I was afraid I was just going to run right into one of them.
I almost did over here because there was one still hanging on the tree.
The way it looks out here, this reminds me of a time when we went to Ohio, just this overcast sky like this. It's just not as cold as like when we went. What was it like for you up in Ohio? What would this weather mean?
In Ohio, it would be cold, definitely cold. Definitely cold right now with the overcast like this. I know when I lived up there, that was like years. I mean, when I was a kid. I don't recall the weather ever getting like up near 80. But now, it can get really hot up there.
Now, I've lived in Florida my entire life, and we're in the Ocala area, so those spiders, have you seen when we got here, the spider, like, let us know what kind of spider it is. I know, what did you say it was?
I don't know, I forget the exact name of them.
In the streets, what we call them.
Yeah, in the streets, what we call them. Well, I was always told that those kind right there, that I guess if you aggravate them or mess with them, they spit something at you.
You mean like tug on their web?
No. Not that. They like that.
So no one's came out, no one stopped by. Plenty of people have driven by, but
And
looked, gawking over. Plenty of people have been doing that, but no one's come out of this house. I do believe that light that's on has probably been on for maybe the past 3 years. I don't know. What do you think we're about? Maybe halfway done or a little bit more? A little bit less?
I think we're about halfway done.
I'm just glad it stopped raining because it was already sprinkling whenever we got here. Started raining more on and off, and then now it stopped. I figured it would. Well, are you ready?
Well, I guess so. We need to get this done.
Before it starts raining again?
Yes. Definitely before it starts raining again.
Listen. It's starting to rain.
I hear it.
Yeah, so it's probably raining up the road.
Yep.
I thought I was gonna fall. What hurt more is I dropped the chainsaw on my foot.
I got chills. I felt its legs on me. It was on my neck. See him? Can you see him?
That was on you?
That was on my neck.
Oh.
Yeah, the one that was hanging up here. It was like, I felt it like.
See, wait, the other one's still over here. How? What did?
Oh, that is a different one. See? I got chills. This is crawl. Ugh. Stay. It must have been on his tree because it's dry rotted and I was trying to break it off.
Yeah.
And it must have been on it. I see you. I'm watching you. You stay there. I swear these insects love me. He's right there.
Better watch out.
I know. Tell him what I might pull out of here. A snake?
The snake, the wasp.
What is that? What is that? Is it a snake? If it's a snake, I'm done. The rest of it can stay.
What is these things?
What is that? I was wondering, I'm like, why would a snake just be sitting there off all this pulling I've been doing? Why would his tail be just sticking up in the air? Okay, I think I'm done with that before I actually do find a beehive or a snake. Oh, I thought we got these out of here.
Are you trying to get that one too?
Oh, I forgot that spider was there. Oh my God.
Wow. You were just bound and determined to get, I don't know, bit or something. What's going on?
I keep forgetting that it's there. When you said spider, I was even thinking the one up in the front. Forgot all about that one. And come to think of it, the other one's on the other plant, not this one.
See, and then they're back here too still. There's two somewhere. I think there's one over here and one over here. I must have knocked them out and they all came crawling back up to the house.
Yeah.
And did you have your gloves on?
They were in my vicinity.
They were taking a break?
They were taking a break. I was taking a break. I just happened to see that.
Well, what do we got left?
Well, now I think it's to mow a little bit over here, that tree there, and then this side over here.
It was so long out here trying to get the yard cleaned up in the front.
Yep.
And
Make it look nice because not leaving hay everywhere.
well, yeah, it definitely does look better. It's extra effort, but extra effort makes it look better.
If this is the place for sale, like that lady over there said, then maybe it'll sell quicker now.
Maybe, but there's no for sale sign here.
I know, I don't see one.
Come by here in a week, there'll be a for sale sign out there. Somebody clean it up. I think the yard's turning out nice though. Do you run into any of those fire ants?
Not yet. Just spiders and lizards.
Quite closer that spider's gonna jump on you.
I know, right? Whatever that was in the tree that I thought was a snake.
And maybe it's a seed pod?
Just the way it was sitting there, I'm like, oh my God. I thought it was a snake when I went to pull the thing. I'm like, are you kidding me?
It looked like it, but I thought if it was probably dead. But
No, I was like, is it dead? Because it's not moving.
But do snakes even get like stiff? I don't know.
I'm not around for that process. boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Oh, let's go.
Okay. What's my phone at?
Final run here. We're done. Woohoo!
Woohoo!